What's up, nerds? I'm Wes.
I'm Tom.
Today we're throwing dice at things.
That's it.
So Zorro is basically just a dice game. It follows the kind of Yahtzee mechanics of like, you roll, you lock your symbols in, you roll some more.
Zorro, the Zorro dice game. So basically, Zorro is a dice game.
And you re-roll and you lock in, you re-roll, you lock in, and you get, what, 3 re-rolls, 2 re-rolls?
It's Yahtzee. It's regular Yahtzee rules.
Yeah,
two
re-rolls.
Well, you can get extra if you have help from people and other equipment and stuff.
Well, you start off with those dice, and then if you can accomplish it, and these are all like tasks or events from Zorro that you do, then you get the equipment card underneath.
Heroic feat.
That make you better. So this one just says you get a taunt every turn, which is a die face. Some of them say like you get,
You can re-roll a certain die face.
Yeah.
Or, that's that.
If you roll 3 greens, you get to take 2 extra rolls.
You can spend a blue as a red. Discard one of your equipment to get up to 2 extra rolls this turn.
And so you're trying to get a bunch of equipment so you're better at rolling. But the other thing that you're trying to do is these heroic feats that you're accomplishing all have like colors, and you want to chain together. Like you basically just want to set collect these. You get 2 blues, and if you get 2 blues, you get to come fight the blue bad guy comes into play.
Right. Well, first the blue scoundrel comes into play, and then the blue villain comes into play, and that's what triggers the end of the game. So the whole and beating the villain is how you win the game. So the whole game itself, there's no points or whatever. The entire time you are trying to gain equipment. You are trying to gear up for this one final battle. So when you trigger for the scoundrel to come out, actually there are blue dice, green dice, red dice, and yellow dice corresponding to the color of the scoundrel and or villain that comes out, and you get that die. And the die is mostly going to give you the blue face. There's also the Z and the sword. What is that? Taunt and something. But so by triggering that, you get an extra ability. I guess you get the extra die, but the scoundrel actually goes to the player to your left and goes around the table until it comes back to you. Like everybody has one turn to try and beat that scoundrel, and they have like an effect too. Like this one I just picked up, the Royal Tax Collectors. After each roll, the player to your left chooses one of your dice that you must save for at least one roll. So it's a little bit of a hindrance to try and beat them. But if none of the other players can beat them, it comes back to you and you try and beat them. But beating them gets you an
premium equipment.
Premium equipment, yeah. And these are actually pretty cool. Let me find some cool ones here. Okay. This one is just straight up, you have one of each type of die face. That's pretty sweet. This one is you get to borrow 1 hero die from anywhere. The hero die is the colored die that you get from the thing I just said. Ignore all scoundrel and villain abilities. Up to 2 Z's you roll are wild.
So you get a lot of cool stuff.
We can only ever have one of that
okay,
kind of stuff.
And you get one of those and 2 of the regular equipments, I think, or 3 of them.
Yes, it's 4 total. Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of leads into one of the first problems of this game. Now it is
the biggest problem.
Well, it is all just dice rolling, so it's all luck based. But as you win, you do better. So like if I get a really good die roll and I get an equipment, not only am I ahead, but also it is easier for me to continue to be ahead. So if I get a second equipment because I'm better off, now I'm even more ahead and Tom could have no equipment.
To the game's credit, there is asking for help, which even in the rules they recommend you do early on because, okay, my first 3 attempts at completing one of these, I just didn't roll well. Sucked. And that sucks. I got nothing. Your first 3 attempts, you did roll well, and you got 3 equipment. You are significantly more ahead than me.
Yeah.
But you can ask for help. And there's actually incentive for both people to do that. You get another equipment if you help me. I get to use your equipment, and I actually think we get an extra reroll as well. So there is incentive for another player to help you early on, which is an attempt at balance. But also people can say no. So,
however, one of the things you can do to kind of make the game better is to get one of these E-Raptor dice towers. So then you're not just rolling your dice, you are tossing him down the throat of a T-Rex and he poops him out, and then you see what you roll. So, like,
or
immediately a better game.
Or you could not leave it on the table, and you could just do this.
Which is basically just rolling the dice,
right. But also, if you got the Kickstarter, I don't know if you can get these in other ways, but there's this cool dice cup with these big metal dice, and you can roll them into this cool dice tray. Like, this game is pimped out pretty good, except for the only complaint that I do have about these really nice, big, heavy metal dice are only the Zorro dice. Remember how I said you can gain these dice throughout the game? So you're going to be rolling these big, heavy, awesome metal dice with these tiny little dice, so that's a little awkward, but whatever.
They also got you custom art sleeves. They upgraded all your pawns and all these like screen printed actual like character tokens. And you're fighting to be the Zorro, so you're all, people of all variety of people are dressed up like Zorro.
I think there's a guy and a girl version of each different color.
We also do have the Heroes and Villains expansion, which it adds 2 more players to the game, so you can take the game up to 8 players.
Which I wouldn't do.
Yeah. But it also adds just more cards. So if you do love this game, you can get more variety and add even more people to it to play the game with you.
So yeah, that expansion mostly just adds more variety, I guess. I don't really see that as a necessity, but the problems that I have with this game is, yes, it is mostly luck-based. Yes, there is a huge runaway leader problem. They tried to mitigate it, but it doesn't necessarily work. I think it is almost pimped out more than what it needs to be. Like,
that's the Kickstarter edition.
I mean, sure, that stuff is fine and fun and whatever, but you don't need it. This game is one of those things to serve a purpose. It is an intro game. It's a light filler. Sure, it's heavy on luck. Sure, it's if you have a lot of dumb rolls at the beginning, it sucks for you, but everybody will laugh or whatever. When I played this game with myself, another more sort of experienced gamer, and somebody who's pretty new, the pretty new player actually really liked it. He was like, that was really fun. It was silly, whatever, but it's fun. This game, I mean, it's a Yahtzee thing, so King of Tokyo comes to mind. Yeah. But also, there was a game called Age of War by FFG that we used to play that feels very similar. We used to play that a lot. We used to love that game.
There's a game called Yahtzee.
Right. Okay, yeah. So it's like, there are games that are like this. I mean, and I did play a game where one person really liked it. That person was not me.
I mean, again, it has its place.
Right.
Its place isn't probably with gamers where we are with things, where we have massive collections. We want to settle in for 3-hour-long games. We want depth and complexity and this didn't have that. But if you do love dice chuckers and Zorro sounds good to you, like, nothing wrong with that. Go for it. There is, dice chucking, modifying your dice, or, the Yahtzee rules. You get equipment to get even better, and then you feel even better when you're rolling your dice. And if that's you, we will have a purchase link in the description box down below where you can get a copy.
Also, while you're down there, you should check out our links for Game Toppers, for this cool E-Raptor Dice Tower, for some Sam Adams Boston Lager. Remember that commercial where they're on a business trip and they all order beer? You don't order beer on a business trip. Actually, I do. So do that. Yeah, it's fun.
I'm actually drinking Goose Island's Solo IPA. It's okay.
It's okay. It's like that strawberry beer. It's okay.
Never drink strawberry beer, but do subscribe to our channel so you'll never be bored.